します。
はい、ありがとうございます。
お豆腐。
はい、
大丈夫。
はい、大丈夫。ありがとうね。
はい。
ありがとうございます。Hey guys, so another video for our Healthcare in Japan playlist. We showed you some hospital food on a previous video, but this is the same hospital for some different procedures, so we thought the food might be a bit different. They said it would be a different menu. So there's an egg and veggie thing there, it was pretty tasty. Other than that, there's the gruel, the rice gruel, and a little bit of veggies, but this was really good. This was a potato and chicken soup, the most boring crackers in the world, but those crackers and that soup together was just excellent. That was one of the best things we've actually experienced in the hospital. That was actually very, very good. This was the next meal. It was sort of a baked egg thing with veggies. That wasn't too bad. And the gruel again, you can see again, really, really wet like a soup. And some beans and some apple and the tea. The regulatory tea that's randomly hot or cold. Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold. Seems to be pretty random. And then this is after an operation. So the first two were before an operation. This is after. So we've got miso and tasteless veggies and bloody tofu and some veggies and some tea. And then look at the rice. See the rice? So before the operation it was like water. After the operation it became like white Play-Doh. It was super, super sticky and really flavourless. That egg thing was tasty, egg and veggies. But the rice was just, every mouthful was chewy and hard work and no flavour and really, really unpleasant. And I mean, again, in fairness, the kitchen is cooking rice for hundreds of people probably. So very difficult for them to have any sort of quality to it. But it was just terrible. Trying to get it down was a real struggle. You have to have a little bit of rice and some tea. That there looked like a really tasty pudding, that thing at the top, and it was bloody tofu. At first sight it was like, ah, look, a good pudding, excellent. And then one smell, no, it's bloody tofu. But yeah, that just terrible rice. Every mouthful was an ordeal, and a mouthful of the rice and a bit of a vegetable and a little bit of tea to just try and get it down, and it's just impossible. There's umeboshi there. That was actually quite a pleasant change, because umeboshi, as you guys know, is super sour and super salty. So it was a real taste sensation after the blandness of everything else. And of course the banana, can't go wrong with fruit. Not quite enough fruit in this menu, as you can see. It's pretty rare. So we'll call that the white Play-Doh there. So some white Play-Doh, miso, tea. Miso and tea are pretty bulletproof. Some broccoli, some milk. Oh, this was a good one too. The rice was still crap. It was still white Play-Doh, and the vegetables were still not interesting. But there's a little bit of beef up here. So I took that beef and put it on top of the rice and made it like a gyudon, and it was actually really good. Added a couple of those pickles, and it was actually pretty good. Mikan there, little tasty mikan. That was one of the better ones as well, one of the better meals, that one. But just the rice just kills it. But it's obviously really hard to make a meal that is tasty when you make rice that's tasty when it's for so many people. Bloody tofu. The veggies and the salads just all taste the same. They've all got the same sauce on them and they all taste the same. And there was things that would come with potato. That's a yogurt drink, that thing. Things that would come with potato and carrot, and they'd have soaked them so that they're really soft, so that the potato and the carrot would have the same texture and the same taste. And if you didn't look at what you put in your mouth, you wouldn't know whether it was potato or a carrot. Pretty sad. That's bloody tofu too, disguised in a container. Milk. You can see some of these meals are really boring. You know, there's the gluey rice and some tofu and some miso, and that's it there. Yeah, just shocking, that rice. It's just terrible. And obviously the other people in the ward were all eating it. They were all pretty happy. But in fairness, the staff admit it too, that the food's not very good. It doesn't have a very good reputation. But of course you've got to eat it. That was a yogurt pudding. That was actually pretty good. You know, you've got to eat it. If you're there for a couple of weeks, obviously you've got to eat, so you just have to make yourself eat it. It wasn't easy. To be honest, the sound of the cart, of the food cart coming down the hall was depressing. There's the bloody tofu disguised again under some veggies. But it was depressing. You hear the food cart coming and know that, you know, you've got to eat all this. I mean, the kiwi fruit and stuff like that, eat at the end, was fabulous, but to get that rice and that tofu and those veggies down was a real struggle every time. Nothing pleasurable about it most of the time. So out of all those meals you just saw, there was 2 or 3. There was the gyudon one, and there was a couple of the egg ones were pretty good. And the soup with the boring crackers was actually pretty good, but the rest of it was hard work. Yeah. Anyway, there it was. More videos coming soon.